Hey everyone, so I'm talking today about a humongous thing that people keep asking me about, and it's how many calories you need per day. So basically, this is going to be a little hard because this is a video and I don't have any fancy video equipment, so I can't show you what I want to show you on paper. Below I wrote down the two equations that I'm using so that you can look at them when you have a calculator handy and figure out what your BMR is and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm just going to try to explain it. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is that you have a BMR, which is a basal metabolism rate. And what your BMR is how many calories you will burn in a day doing nothing. Literally nothing. Like laying in bed all day. This is the amount of calories that your body needs to just sustain life. So it's working your digestive system, your brain, your respiratory system. It's pumping your heart. Things you don't even think about. Okay. So if you laid in bed all day, that's the amount of calories you would burn. I have a couple of equations that I will type below, but I'm really bad at math, so I did this before I turned the video camera on. Basically, I have the equation for the female, and I have one for the male too, but I'm a female. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to write it below. The reason I can't just hold it up is because it's obviously backwards to you guys, so that would not be cool. But there's a bunch of numbers, and you add in your weight and your height and your age, and these are all factors that determine your BMR. So for me, I am 110 pounds and I'm 5'2", 19 years old. So my BMR, so if I just laid in bed all day, I would burn about 1,283 calories. Okay, so it's not an exact science, but it gets really close. Okay, so give or take a little bit, but that's a really good range. It gets in the right area. So basically, to lay in bed all day, I'd burn 1,300 calories. Alright, so now what happens if you go below your BMR? This is where 500 calorie diets and stuff really screw people over. Eating disorders. What happens is if you go below your BMR, your body doesn't have the calories it needs to run and sustain what I talked about like a minute ago. Your digestive system, your brain, your respiratory system, things that you don't even think about, they're just involuntary. Okay, so if you don't get that amount of calories that your BMR needs, your body's going to start to get run down. You're going to be super tired, you get headaches, you'll lose weight because your body has to get calories and energy from somewhere. So it's going to take it from your muscle, your fat stores, your glycogen stores, etc. So never go below your BMR, okay? If you just cannot get higher than that, we can work with it, but do not go below your BMR or there's going to be huge problems. And then on top of that, this is so much easier if I could show you on paper. Then there's their daily activity level, which is going to be a number times your BMR, and that number is your daily activity level, not the amount of calories you burn. It's going to be a 1-point number, and I'll write this below too. This is what they're going to be, okay? So if you are sedentary and have like a desk job and you sit pretty much all day, that's going to be a 1.1, okay? If you're a light daily activity, so like a stay-at-home mom or a dad, and a salesperson, doctors, they get a 1.2. 1.3 is moderate, so you're moving pretty much all day, and you do some manual things like mail carriers or carpenters. And when I say mail carrier, I mean like walking, not driving. And then the heaviest one is high physical activity, daily physical activity, which is still not exercise. It's just your day-to-day life. Like if you're a construction worker, you work at Toyota, If you work on a farm, and that's going to be 1.4. Okay, so whatever number that is, times it by your BMR. Okay, so you get a number, and that's how many calories you should be eating a day, just to like maintain your weight. Okay, then there's a third like segment of this, and it is the exercise portion. And then you have to put how many calories you expended daily, about average, through exercise. So exercise expenditure. And so for mine, I put about 500, which is probably low, but just to be safe, because I don't want to gain weight, right? So I figure I work out about an hour and a half to 2 a day, and I do pretty heavy, cardio and weights. I probably burn more like 700, but just to be safe, I put 500. So I took my BMR, which is 1300. I times it by 1.3, which is my daily activity. I'm usually up walking around, shuffling papers. I'm never really sitting unless I'm in class. And then I add, not multiply. You add your energy expenditure, your calories, and then you get a total number. So mine was 2,168. That's how many calories I need to maintain my weight on days like when I burn 500 calories through exercise. Okay? And if I go under, I'm not going to die, and if I go over, I'm not going to die, I'm not going to gain weight either. It's a lot harder than that. To gain weight, it's a different story we'll go into later. So to give an idea, exercise expenditure, like calorie burn, is always going to be different depending on how hard you work first off, and second, how much you weigh, because lighter people, it doesn't take as much energy for us to move, so we don't burn as many calories. It's just that way. Me being about 110 pounds, in an hour of cycling, that 13 miles per hour, I would burn about 500 calories. Okay, if I weighed 200 pounds, I would be burning about 700 calories. If I weighed 300 pounds and I was cycling for an hour, I would be burning about 1,000. And those are probably low estimates. It also depends on how high you get your heart rate, because that is ultimately what decides how many calories you're burning, is where your heart rate is. Is it up in the max? Is it in fat burning zone, cardio zone, things like that. But you're going to have to, I can't do everything. You're going to have to Google, and you're going to have to read about it if you seem more interested in this. I'm just giving you a base knowledge here. Also, you want to start counting your calories and get a really accurate count without doing all of the mathematics of it. You can go and get a Livestrong account or a MyFitnessPal, and you sign up. It's free, and they'll start you off with like how many calories you should be eating a day based on your goals and whatever. It's really nice. You get pictures of the foods. They help you keep track. You can keep track of your exercise, your water consumption, your food consumption, everything. So try that, MyFitnessPal or Livestrong.com. There are two things I want to talk about. I don't have that much time left. Is your calories in versus calories out for weight loss / weight gain. No, 3,500 calories equals a pound. So you'd think that 500 calories times 7, that's a pound a week. But it's not really how it works. It's more of calories in and calories out. It's just the nitty-gritty of it. So if you want to lose weight, you think that if you cut 500 calories a day for a week, you would lose a pound, right? Mathematically it makes sense. But sometimes there are things that are going to hold your body back from that, and you have to be prepared for that. But you can start and cut about 500 calories a day from the calories you're eating now, which you have to figure that out, okay? Figure out how many calories you're eating a day now out, and then subtract 500, and that'll be like your new target goal. And those 500 calories, that deficit needs to come from exercise and nutrition or food, okay? They can come from one or the other, but it's better if you come from both, especially if that exercise is cardio, because cardio for overweight people is going to help with fat loss. And then once you get the fat loss down, you can add strength training, and strength training is going to help build muscle, and muscle burns more calories than fat does at rest, so your metabolism is going to go up. It's ideal, though, to do both at the same time, so when you lose the fat, you have the muscles already, you know? I mean, someone can have a great six-pack, but if they don't do cardio and they have all that belly fat on them, you're not going to be able to see the muscles under the fat. So, you know, mix it up, do cardio a couple times a week, strength training a couple times a week, cut your calories down, eat healthier foods, less sugar, and that would be the weight loss part in a nutshell. The weight gain part, not as strict because you're obviously trying to gain weight. Make sure it's healthy weight, though. Don't just go eat McDonald's to get your calories in. Just find foods that you like that are healthy and make the portions a lot bigger. Have more meals throughout the day, like real legit meals. Whenever you can, you know, just eat something healthy, but that's high in calories. Peanut butter, like 3 cups of oatmeal, protein shakes. I'm thinking on the fly here. You know, instead of having 1 peanut butter and jelly sandwich, have 2. You know, so you can do that stuff. Also, if you do weight training, if you're exercising, which you should be doing, even though you want to gain weight, if you did weight training with high, like heavy weights and low reps, it's going to build muscle mass, and that's going to make you look bigger also. So unless you're just trying to gain pure weight, then don't do that, because it's not what you want. It depends. I mean, the guys who are trying to gain the muscle mass, they're going to want to do that. The people who are like coming back from an eating disorder are just going to want to gain weight. And you should always exercise no matter which category you're in, because exercise is really good for everything. Not just physically, but it's also emotionally, and it's good for your blood pressure. It's good for, social life, everything. So, moral of the story is figure out what your BMR is and calculate it. Don't go below it. Figure out how many calories you need a day based on the formulas that I'll put below here on this little screen thing, or in the comments. And also try to look up livestrong.com for a little bit of support. And no matter what category you're in, maintain losing weight or gaining weight, make sure you're exercising, okay? Have a good day, guys. I hope this helped a little bit. I know it's kind of confusing, but I believe in you.